Everybody is talking about $1 million, like it is some kind of magical finish line where the heavens open up and all your problems vanish. You see that specific number on every single personal finance book cover and every clickbait YouTube thumbnail because it is easy to sell a dream. Don't get me wrong, $1 million is a fantastic goal, but your life does not wait for $1 million to start changing in a massive way. In this video, I am going to walk you through the 3 net worth milestones that actually shift the ground beneath your feet long before you become a millionaire. We are going to start with the very first milestone that proves you are not just another person drifting through life, and that is $10,000. This milestone is not about the money itself. It is about showing me that you actually have the discipline to win this game. Reaching $10,000 is a massive achievement because most people in Milestones cannot even handle a $400 emergency without a credit card. If you can hit that $10,000 mark, compound interest finally starts to take your side, provided you are actually putting that money to work in the market. Seeing 5 figures in your bank account for the first time provides psychological benefits that are worth more than the cash itself. Let's look at the raw math of how you get there. Assume you are putting $100 a month into an investment account, earning a typical 8% return. It is going to take you about 6.5 years of consistent, boring effort to reach that $10,000 milestone. But here's the part that makes most people want to quit. When you hit that $10,000, $7,800 of it is just the money you manually slaved away for. Only a tiny fraction of that total is actually from interest and growth, which makes it feel like you are pushing a boulder up a hill with no help. You are probably sitting there looking at your screen thinking, is this really worth the sacrifice when my interest only bought me a cheap dinner? At this stage, many people give up because the compound interest effect is almost invisible, and they would rather just spend the money on a vacation. But what if I told you that if you hit $10,000 and never added another single cent for the rest of your life, the math would still change your future? If you let that $10,000 sit for another 6.5 years at the same rate, it generates over $6,500 in interest alone. That means you have created an engine that spits out $1,000 of passive income every single year without you lifting a finger. In 25 years, that original $10,000 turns into nearly $70,000, with $60,000 of that being pure profit from the market. And that is the power of the $10,000 milestone. It is a psychological barrier that proves you are a finisher, not a dreamer. For me, seeing that 5th digit in my account gave me a level of financial confidence that I never knew existed during my broke years. Most people live in a state of constant low-level dread where they are always one bad week or one flat tire away from a total disaster. They hesitate before every purchase because money is a source of friction and pain rather than a tool for growth. But once you hit $10,000, you gain a sense of peace because you know you are no longer living paycheck to paycheck like the rest of the world. First, you can handle 99% of life's random curveballs because most unexpected bills are going to be less than $10,000. Second, you have broken the mental seal and proved to yourself that you can follow a plan and actually win. The only thing standing between you and $100,000 now is just more time and more consistency. This brings us to the second milestone that actually alters the trajectory of your life, and that is the $100,000 mark. This is the stage where your money stops being a lazy passenger and starts becoming a high-performance employee that works 24 hours a day. If you have $100,000 invested and the market gives you a standard 10% return, your money just earned $10,000 for you. Think about the difference. If you only have $100 and get a 10% return, you earn $10, which is basically the price of a sandwich. Most people can earn $10 an hour doing almost anything, so working hard for a year to earn $10 of interest feels like a total waste of time. But capital has a massive scaling effect, and the benefits of having a larger pile of money increase exponentially rather than linearly. Most people cannot easily go out and earn an extra $10,000 in an hour, but a $100,000 portfolio can do that during a good market swing. This is the true meaning of the phrase, money makes money, and it is where you start to feel the wind at your back. While $100,000 is not enough to retire on in Milestones, it creates a massive amount of momentum that makes every future milestone easier. I have talked in other videos about how the time it takes to go from your first $100,000 to your second is significantly shorter. Let's use a 7% return as a conservative baseline for this specific calculation to show you how the speed changes. It takes about 7.8 years to save your first $100,000 if you are starting from a $10,000 base. But the jump from $100,000 to $200,000 only takes 5.8 years because your existing money is doing half the heavy lifting. By the time you are moving from $900,000 to $1 million, That last 100 grand only takes 1.7 years to materialize. This means that wealth accumulation is agonizingly slow at the beginning, which is something the get-rich-quick scammers never want to mention. You can be doing everything perfectly, buying VU every month, skipping the expensive lattes, and driving a used Toyota, but you might not see big results for years. Personal finance is a game of extreme patience where you have to put in the work every day without seeing any immediate reward for your discipline. It requires a level of faith that most people simply do not have because it is unlike almost any other hobby or skill in the world. If we go out and play a round of golf and you swing the club, you see exactly where the ball goes the moment you hit it. You get instant feedback on whether your grip was too tight or your stance was wrong, and you can adjust for the very next hole. But in the world of investing, there is a massive time delay between your smart decisions today and the dream lifestyle you want tomorrow. A person who hits $100,000 at age 30 might feel like they are behind when they look at the fake lives on social media. But if that 30-year-old never adds another dollar to that account, they will have over $1 million by the time they hit 60. Assuming an 8% return, 90% of that final $1 million will be pure compound interest, and only 10% was their original work. Before we get to the third milestone, I want to give you some tactical advice on how to actually reach that first 100,000 as fast as possible. If you are using a standard calculator, you should aim to hit that six-figure mark in about 6 to 8 years of aggressive saving. To hit that goal in under 8 years at a 7% return, you need to be investing about $830 every single month. I know that sounds like a lot of money for most people, but you have to use every tool in the toolbox to get there. Starting with your employer, if you are working in the United States, you have to take advantage of the CDLK match because it is literally 100% return on your money instantly. If you put in $500 and your company matches $500, you are already at $1,000 a month without any extra effort. Whether you are in the UK with a pension plan or Australia with superannuation, you need to call your HR department today and find out if you are leaving free money on the table. The second hack to hitting 100,000 is to focus entirely on increasing your top-line income during these early years. It is a lot easier to save $1,000 a month when you are earning $5,000 than it is when you are earning $3,000. If you have to take a certification course to get a promotion, do it. If you have to start a side hustle on the weekends to earn an extra $50 or $100, do it. Every extra dollar you throw into that account in the early days is worth 10 times more than a dollar you throw in 20 years from now. Now we arrive at the third milestone, which is the one most people skip over on their way to the $1 million talk, $500,000. I believe that $500,000 is the true psychological and financial tipping point where you can finally stop worrying about the future. At this level, your portfolio is a massive beast that is capable of doing all the heavy lifting for your lifestyle. If you have $500,000 and you get a standard, your money is generating $40,000 a year in gains. Think about that. $40,000 is a full-time salary in many parts of the country, and you earned it by literally doing nothing but staying alive. If you have $500,000 and you leave it alone for 20 years, it will grow into over $2.7 million without you ever adding another cent. Even if you only wait 10 years, you are already a millionaire, which means the hard work part of your life is officially over. In America, hitting $500,000 puts you well above the average retirement savings for almost every age bracket. According to the latest data from the Empower dashboard, the average retirement balance is actually just under $500,000. So once you reach this milestone, you are officially doing better than the vast majority of the population. If we use the safe withdrawal rate of 4.2%, a $500,000 nest egg allows you to take out $23,500 every year safely. When you combine that with the average Social Security benefit, a single person at age 60 would have a total income of nearly $48,000. For a married couple where both people get average benefits, that total retirement income jumps to over $77,000 a year. That is a very comfortable lifestyle that allows for travel, good food, and a high quality of life without the stress of a 9-to-5 job. The math changes slightly depending on when you start taking Social Security, but the foundation is the same. The $500,000 milestone is your ticket to freedom. But what if you hit $500,000 while you are still young, say around age 40? This is where life gets really interesting because you gain the power of choice, which is the ultimate luxury in RDNRDO. You could quit your high-stress corporate job and take a lower-paying position that you actually enjoy, because you don't need to save for retirement anymore. You have reached what we call the coast fire stage, where your existing balance is guaranteed to grow into a massive fortune by the time you are old. You only need to work enough to cover your current rent and groceries while your $500,000 engine runs in the background. At this milestone, you could take a 1-year sabbatical to travel the world, and it wouldn't even dent your long-term financial health. $500,000 is the milestone of options, and options are the only thing that actually matters in a volatile economy. Now, reaching 500,000 requires the exact same boring discipline that it took to reach 10,000, just over a longer period. There is no secret formula or hidden strategy that unlocks once you hit these higher numbers. It is just the natural result of a person who reached 10,000, stayed disciplined, reached 100,000, and refused to let lifestyle inflation win. If you can reach 10,000, you have already proven that you have the DNA of a millionaire. The principles that got you that first 10 grand are the exact same ones that will carry you to 500,000 and beyond. The only variable left in the equation is time, and time is going to pass regardless of what you do with your money. If you enjoyed this breakdown, you have to watch my deep dive on what happens to your net worth once you cross that $100,000 mark. I will see you in that video, or I will see you in the next one on this channel. Thanks for watching, and stay disciplined. Peace.